Welcome in, everyone. If you're new here, my name is Jane. I have a very important message here from the angels today, and this is going to be for like the light workers, for star seeds, people that resonate as earth angels, and okay. So I questioned if I was even the right person to bring this message, and so I'm going to just push my self-doubt aside here, and I'm going to bring the message that was brought to me. And I was receiving the numbers 333, and I just kind of wrote them down in my book like I normally do, and I just kind of set it aside. But Spirit kept bringing me signs. I was out yesterday on my meditation walk and to exercise my dogs as usual, and they kept showing me groups of three, like the number three. They kept showing me like 3 crows at a time, 3 squirrels at a time. And this was like the entire walk. So I would walk like, I don't know, 8 or 9 houses and I'd see 3 crows. And then I'd walk, another 8 or 9 houses and I'd see 3 squirrels. And this was like continuous the entire day. I was outside for about, I don't know, close to 3 hours. And it just went on and on and on. Here I keep bringing up the number 3 and 9. And I didn't really understand it. And then I have been, I'm not going to lie, I had bought a deck of cards, and it's called the Lemurian Star Child, and it was a really, really expensive deck, and the book is even more expensive. So the deck is like $60 or $70. I can't really remember now because it's been a while since I bought it, and it didn't come with a book. The book is like over $100, and I'm just like, I cannot spend like this kind of money on a deck of cards. So being my frugal self, I was just like, I'll just, they give you the option, like there's like a, what do you call those codes? QR code that you can just look up the meanings of the cards. But because the deck is so big, I think there's like 88 cards or something. Because there's so many cards, I just decided what I would do is I would just like, slowly just look up each one and do like my own book right up, so I started this book here, you know what I mean? And I've been slowly working on it. It's not something that I, have spent a whole lot of time on. But the other night, I was working on a few of them. I figured I would do, like a couple times a week. I would just try to take 2 or 3 cards and, look them up and, kind of just decipher the meanings of each card. So, which this is where it gets a little bit bizarre, because I had left on the card of forgiveness. And with that, they had given me, they kept saying like confidence and peace. But when I wrote down peace, you can see where I made a correction here. It came out as peas, and I'm like, what does peas even mean? So I did correct it, but then I was like, okay, I wrote that down for a reason why I put an S instead of a C. So I actually had to look it up, and when I did, it's like to make peace between conflicting people, to reconcile. And I'm like, okay, so what does this mean? So then I kept getting the word light worker, and I'm just like, okay, I don't know what any of this means. And then they were telling me like, so like 333, you add these together, it gives you a 9, right? So I'm like, okay, I know that. So when I know what the number 9 is, so I wrote that down: spiritual growth, completion, and opportunities to heal the world around you. And I'm like, what does this mean? I didn't really understand it. And then I was getting the Ascended Masters, the Virgin Mary, or Mary Magdalene, or Kuan Yin. And it was like, so I was getting the word is near you. And I was like, is near me. And that's when I realized the night before, I was working on this card, forgiveness. And that's what this card, like, actually I worked on more than one. I think there was 3 of them that I had done, which again, number 3. And so it talks about how working with 3, it's to increase the manifestation. So I still really, at this point, I mean, I still am kind of like in the dark and not understanding what's going on. So the heart must be open this is what they gave me. The heart must be open for the wisdom they share. Recognize your purpose and utilize talents correctly. Being true to yourself and desires, you will be a better position to manifest long-term success. And I'm still not really understanding the entire message. So then I received, I believe you're being asked to study with these masters, which, okay, so that's fine. So then I received this message. So then I drew this, like you can see, I drew this arrow down here to, through verbal and practical support of grieving for wounded people around you. And I was like, okay, I'm still not completely getting this. So they had me pull out the book that I had been working on to see if this made any sense to me. And that's when I realized, like, with the number 9, with the forgiveness, this was all talking about how, so this was like forgiveness, sorry, comes with an ancient guide or a wounded healer, a shaman, or an elder. So relieving karmic energy for the old paradigm, for a deeper purification, and you are in the process of healing and purification, which creates a space for the heart to expand, allow the love of your higher self to come through, to illuminate the world. And then it talks about how you can ask your Lemurian guides to complete this process and clear out the karmic contracts and agreements. And I was just like, okay, I'm still not really sure I get it. And then like I was tired, so I did number 9 or number 10 and left it. But prior to that, I did do 7, 8, and 9 together. So I went to the deck and I pulled out this card and I'm like, oh, so you want this card? And they were like, no, we want more than that card. So they had asked me to, because it's like shine your light. And again, it was Kuan Yin. So she's a gentle healer that's being asked for you to open your heart. So you must be stripped of all your earthly possessions. Okay, so this is where you could be somebody that has like lost everything, literally everything. And what that does is it creates, and it even brought up about Mary Magdalene down here. And it says here, like, when that stuff happens, it turns you into like the creator, so that you can become a channel for the divine. So they had me pull out the cards that I had, like number 7, which it wasn't the card that I worked on the other night. I actually got the shakes because the energy around me is extremely high and I feel like I'm very nervous or something. It's really weird. Anyway, so they had me bring out these cards here. So then we have, okay, so we have 7, 8, 9. And that's where I had ended. So they had asked me to bring out the other cards that go with it. And I'm like, oh, okay. So I brought out number 10 and 11. I had to kind of just give myself a little education before I started this, so I wasn't rambling and stumbling over what they want me to bring for this message today. So what I'm understanding now is that okay, I'm just going to start with the shine your light. So this is where, like, you could have lost literally everything in your life if you are a light worker. So this is only for like light workers, people that resonate as starseeds, people that are for channelers, really. And eventually everyone's going to be able to be a channel at some point. Okay, so they want me to kind of start at the beginning. So the beginning of all of this that they've been downloading to me started with the old Lemuria. So if you're not familiar with Lemuria, they want me to give a little bit of education and background. Lemuria, they believe, was what I was given is that it was in Hawaii. And with the fall of Lemuria, it talked about Lemuria was like, it was like a volcanic, landscape. Like, so a volcano had, created it, right? And so it was above the sea. And Lemuria was a place where people, for like thousands of people, had gone through this type of it was like created for this energetic, I don't know how to word this, spirit. It was a coding system there. And what happened there is that thousands of people went through this coding system so that because they knew Lemuria was going to fall, because it was built on an volcano. And eventually what was going to happen is this volcano was going to collapse. All the volcanic magma that was underneath that, it was going to collapse and go elsewhere and create another island or something. And then, so when it collapsed, what it was going to do, it was going to send all the people that had gone through this coded type encoding that went into their DNA. It was going to make them scatter all around the world, so that the DNA at some point in time would then be reactivated, if you understand what I'm trying to say. So this is where, like, the card comes out here with unlock your gifts. So in this key, it's like all these light codes that were implanted way back when Lemuria was Lemuria. And Lemurians, see, how it goes is, from what my understanding and what I've been, come to be taught, is that the Palladians, they, like the seven sisters, or Hathors as you call them, or can call them, or maybe you are familiar with, they show up in history all through different parts of the world. So they're the ones that I was to understand that have seeded the world, right? So every time there was a collapse of the world, the Palladians were brought here to reseed, basically. And they were also given special permission to clone, yes. And with that, what would happen when we reached a certain period in time, which is now, the time that we're in now, and this is where they keep coming up with the, like even in the Bible, it talks about the prophecy. So the prophecy is that the people that had gone through all of these codings back when Lemuria was still above water, the codings that they were receiving was stored in the DNA. So when these people, like, reproduced or whatever and went into the family generations, that coding would be there. So there were certain people that were placed all around the world, people like me, other people, the people call them the chosen or the light workers. They have this coding within them. And there are certain specific times that they were to wake up and unlock these codings. So that is the time of now. That's happening. It's already happened for a lot, but it's going to happen on a massive scale. So this is when I was working on the card forgiveness, this is where it talks about like opening your heart. And I guess I'd have to look that up, because there was a whole lot more that they've taught me since then. So it's basically that, yeah, because it's related. Yeah, because it's to let go. It's to see the bigger picture and to trust and open to the healing, to let go of all the hurts. And that's what the Ho'oponopono means in Hawaii, is forgiveness. Now, they're saying it's to see the full weave of the co-creation and to forgive it all now in all timelines. So this is where they're talking about having, with the shaman and the elders and like, the wounded healers and all that, the, light workers basically. And it was to bring in the Lemurians to guide us to the complete process, right? And to remove all the contracts and agreements. But then the other cards here, like the Dove of Peace, this is all about like staying in your heart, about all is well, be at peace, release the judgments, heal whatever is arising within you. And this only comes when, like, the connection, the channel that you have, that can only happen when you're kind, when, like, because it cannot stand aggression or harshness of the human heart. So you have to reach a certain form of healing and openness in your heart and have that, you know, within you before this DNA can be activated, basically. And, you'll see here, like, you have all these music notes and, different types of things, but this is how they communicate with you, is like through numbers, through synchronicities, through, and, every time they send you a message through like feathers or, a song or whatever, it's to encourage you to open your heart to that kindness, to that new way of being, right? And that even if, okay, so we're going to jump to the family of light. So what they want to express here with this card is, even if, you're harsh and you perhaps say things that, like, you shake your fist at, the universe, they, with those emotions, they want you to understand that this is a family of light, and they understand the emotions of the old paradigm, and they're going to love you unconditionally no matter what, because they understand how the suffering is in the old paradigm, because they keep referring to it as the old paradigm. And that is basically the earth. I'm going to say now, because the new Lemuria, because they're talking about a new Lemuria coming in, and everybody's talking about like the new earth and stuff like that. And I did a reading actually about the new earth, and I didn't really understand like exactly what the new earth meant, but this is what they were talking about. So this is bringing up about a new Lemuria is going to be created, which is going to be this new earth of a new way of thinking. And if you're a light worker, or like you consider yourself like a star seed or anything like that, you're helping to hold the light, you're a channel in any way, these are the people that are going to help bring us into the new earth. Now, from what I can understand is the volcanoes are triggering that. Like, that's why I think there's so much volcanic action going on, and is going to continue to go on in the next few years. And I think it's because it's reshaping the world. And also this family of light is also about it has a lot to do with understanding the old religious paradigm that doesn't apply anymore. Because, back when religions came, it was mainly a masculine energy that, tried to present themselves off as gods. And the Pleiadians didn't want any part of that, because they don't believe that any human should be in that role. They don't believe in deities, right? Because, see, this is the thing, like Pleiadians, because they did come from the stars, humans become to worship them because they thought that they were, special, and, they don't think of themselves as higher than we are. They don't consider themselves as a better being of human or anything like that. They understand where we've come from because they were us at one time. You know what I mean? So, that's why they've come to help guide the new earth, because they know what it feels like to have all the emotions and have the oppression of the world surrounding us now. And they're going to continue to give us this unconditional love no matter what. So I think what's going on is what's taking place now is about this new Lemuria, like the a new pristine template for the new earth, I guess. So Lemurians, where they received all the cosmic guidance from the Pleiadians, and they refused to be considered gods or deities or whatever. They just want to keep transmitting to us love and freedom. And that's why they bring in, like, they show us, like, angel numbers, we call them angel numbers, or angel signs, basically. Because the old paradigm of religion is collapsing now. And because really it was always an illusion. And that illusion is being unmasked. Okay, Spirit. Ooh, that was a lot. Okay. Oh, oh, I just whacked my knee. Okay, so they asked me to bring out one of these cards here to read at the end. Okay. So the DNA that is being uncoded, that's being unlocked, comes in many forms. But you have to be, see, this is the thing, it can only be unlocked when you've reached a high enough level of kindness and love and open heart. You know what I mean? And until that happens, the unlocking cannot happen. So where they're asking to it's a call out. It actually, that's I think that's what they were saying here when they gave me this download. I'm pretty sure that's what they said. It was a call out. Yeah, because that's what I believed when they were talking about the Ascendant Masters is near you, because all these cards that I was working on, it just kept bringing up the Virgin Mary or Kuan Yin. Actually, Mary Magdalene was one of them, because they had, see, and that's like Jesus, because that's why they call them Ascendant Masters, because they have walked on the earth. They understand the human emotion. They understand the suffering. They understand all that. So when they ascended onto the other side after their passing, they kept that with them. They understand where we're all coming from. They understand how we feel. So they're able to continue to give us this unconditional love. And that's why I wrote down here, I believe that you're being asked to study with these masters, because these masters, even if you're not a light worker, even if you're not any of these things, you don't believe that you're any of these things, but you are. Even if you don't believe that, if you work with these masters here, they will help you become more into your own heart of kindness and love. And that's what the dove of peace is, like, to bring you into the peace. And you'll notice that I started right off at the very beginning was confidence and peace. And that's what I believe this card is. It's all about having the confidence and staying in the heart, and like all is well, and be at peace, and don't allow anyone to disrupt your peace. Like, I absolutely refuse anyone to disrupt my peace. I will not allow it one way or no, they're absolutely not. Because when I allow people to disrupt my peace, what happens is it drags my energy down, and I cannot connect with my guides. I cannot connect with the Pleiadians. I cannot connect with the Lemurians that have come before me, that have, encoded in my family line, the DNA, you know what I'm saying? So I want to stay in this energy. I absolutely refuse to allow anyone to disrupt my peace in any way. Do you want this card? Okay, let me just, they're going to have me do a split here. Oh, what's going on? I seem really nervous, like, okay, which one? Oh, Spirit, I don't know which one. Which one? This one. Okay, hold on. Okay, I was right, this one. Okay, I'm just going to set that here. You see all these colors? And just like I was talking about earlier, like, oh, and then I just started more. Okay. Okay, here. All right, so I'm just going to set this aside here. All right, Spirit, where do you want me to begin? Okay, so they're asking me to bring out one dragon card here. Okay. All right, Spirit. Okay, look at this. Air and water dragon helps you connect to higher frequencies. Trust your intuition, develop your psychic abilities, and be open to enlightenment, and express your inner song. And on the bottom is Golden Atlantean Dragon. Helps to remember the wisdom of Golden Atlantis. Awaken, bring back your knowledge, gifts, and talents. Reclaim your mastery. Okay, Spirit. All right. So, I don't know if I have enough room here for all these cards you're bringing out. Especially this one goes sideways. Okay. All right. Move that aside. Okay, so this is the deck of the Masters here, the Masters deck. Oh my God, look, I split it on Mary Magdalene. Sacred Vessel. Oh my God, and Mother Mary right behind her. See, I was just talking about that. Lo, and they have Kuan Yin out here. Those were just the three that I was talking about earlier. Okay, well, I guess that's that. That was quick. So Mary Magdalene is Sacred Vessel. You are the answer, be guided to your purpose. And then Mother Mary, which is the Virgin Mary, is miraculous encounter, divine experiences. Do not be afraid of being powerful. Oh my gosh. You notice, and they were talking about how when the religion started and how it was all about like the masculine, and now they're bringing out all this feminine here. Even this woman, and this is a female. I'm pretty sure that's even a female dragon here. We have I think that's a masculine dragon, and that's a female dragon. Okay. Hold on a moment. I don't know if there's enough light going on. I'm going to turn on another light here just to make sure, because something keeps telling me to turn on another light. So I don't know what the other light, why they're asking this. So I'm just doing as they're asking because, okay. Maybe there's some kind of shadow or something happening. Okay, Spirit. Okay, so we're going to, you want me to put them like this? I don't like covering their faces because, this is kind of blowing me away a little bit here. Okay, so we have Mary Magdalene. So we have all three here. We have all the ones that I was just talking about. Oh, that's amazing. Okay, so, okay, let me move this out of the way here. They're asking me to bring out one of these animal cards here. Oops. Okay, let's see here. When I first brought this deck out and I split it open, it was 2 wolves. Okay. card that you want here for this group, well, for this reading. Guidance of the Tiger, number 22. I embrace my sensual side and honor my true divine nature. You know, I was just talking about all the female energies here. Oh, that's beautiful. See all this like light shooting off here, you know, and this is what happens when we're aligned in our divinity. The light literally spreads to others. It spreads to the world in general, right? Okay, let's see here. Karmic board clearing. See, and that's what I was just talking about, how to be calling in, well, in a Pleiadian activation. You know, in this flame. Oh my God, Spirit. No joke. Okay, so they're saying here about this karmic board clearing, like energetic clearing, rewrite your story, live your truth. This is where they're talking about earlier on with the cards, look, underneath the forgiveness. And then goes underneath the dove, the Pleiadian activation, coming together, harmony in the heavens, resolution. And seeing this is the only way. Because right under the dove of peace. And then the chamber of the violent flame, this is where you know, you're clearing out all those the karmic release, the radical transformation, because that's what the forgiveness card is all about. It's all about you know, calling in Kuan Yin and Mother Mary and Mary Magdalene, Jesus, if you will, calling in any of the ascended masters that you resonate with, and have them, you know, because they're always going to bring you unconditional love, because that's what the ascended masters, they understand what it's like to be in the old paradigm, and they keep calling it the old paradigm. Cyrus, Star Bless. See, Sirius here, this is where they believe that I think the planet A and B, I don't really remember a whole lot about the Sirius star blessings, but the this is I think it's the closest system to Earth. So yes, proceed, be seen, push through. You know, you might feel like, you know, like I was saying earlier, you might feel like you're, you know, like you're shaking your fist, like, why can't I, you know, connect with my guides, you know, like, damn you kind of thing, you know, but the guides are just going to continue to send you these loving messages. They're going to continue with, you know, the songs, or, you know, feathers, or whatever you resonate with. They're going to, you know, whatever they can get your attention with, and it's to keep encouraging you to open your heart, right? You know, and then they have like the star. Oh my God, I was just talking about Hathor. So, you know, we have the star being healing codes, important information, wounds are healed, recharging. And this is what I was talking about, like to call in the Lemurian and the Pleiadians to bring in healing. And it's the only way to unlock these gifts. It's the only way. And then you have the Hathor light codes. Like I said, like they consider like the Hathors, these seven sisters, because they show up in history all around the world. There is hieroglyphs, sorry, and then there's also like, I think even in Australia, they're indigenous, and you know what I mean? Like they talk about them in a lot of the they even have, like, in the star system, they call it, there's a star thing that's called the Seven Sisters, and that's what it refers to, but they are actual Pleiadians. So the Hathor light codes is light immersion, full system upgrade, power recall. And then it talks right here that to awaken and bring back your knowledge and your gifts. Oh, spirit. And the sword of light is on the bottom. Divine protection, cords cut, breakthrough energy. See, and this is what it's all about, is breaking through that energy. It's breaking through that, the forgiveness. Like healing takes a lot of effort. Like healing is not something that you can just like, oh, okay, I feel better today because, like I cried it out and now I feel that release and now I'm going to be able to connect with source. No, it's not. That's not how it works. It takes a lot of, questioning and finding your own internal power. And it's all about having that, look, receptivity on the bottom, angelic diamond light. Because at first when I saw that, the first thing I thought of was a diamond. Spirit. Okay. All right. So we got this one. Integration. Higher self integration. Okay. Nourishment. Gift of the Mer people. They're bringing up a lot about Atlantis too. So, again, Atlantis came, they were higher evolved beings, and they knew how to, they were masters of manifestation. But I believe what happened there is that it was used, they started to become corrupted. And because of that corruption, it ended up being destroyed, basically. They destroyed themselves with the corruption is what happened. Or at least that's the understanding I have. So courageous, transcending the fear. And that's what it's really all about, right? It's all about overcoming the fear. The fear of being alone, the fear of losing all your earthly things. Like, and that's the whole thing. Like when the current light workers or whatever that are now doing this type of work, a lot of them have come from severe hardship. They have literally lost everything. They've probably lost all their earthly possessions. They probably lost all the people that they've had in their lives. And, they had to, it forced them to connect with the higher energies of the universe. And then underneath it's expansion, right? So enlightened healing codes. And I notice that they keep showing me 21, which breaks down to a 3, and then there's number 12 here, which again breaks down to a 3. That's what started all of this, was showing me all the 3s, and I didn't know what all what they meant by all the 3s. Yeah, because it's, I split it on this, unification, because in the end, we're all going to be the oneness healing code, because we're all one, right? We're all interconnected in the universe. And until that kind of understanding comes. Okay, what else do you want, your spirit? I feel like there's another card here. I was just talking about, it's with the dolphins, more dolphins, right? Orb healing. Oh, they had me split it here. Infinite Arcturus, infinity mind. Yep. Okay, so reflectivity. And this is what they were talking about earlier, about how, you have to go within to do the healing. The Atlantean libraries. You have the dolphins again. And Logan, you notice there's 3 dolphins there. Yet another 333 again, right? The dolphins and the whales have a lot of, like their songs are a lot about the healing. There's actually scientific proof that women that are pregnant and swim with dolphins during that pregnancy, the codes that are released, the sonar that is released into, and those dolphins actually will seek out those women as well. Those babies are born with extremely high intelligence and wisdom that others do not get to experience or have. At least, they have to go the harder route, right? This is where, they're really talking about a lot about the sound coding. It's not just sound coding either. It's the light codes that they're talking about, because they're referring to a lot. I mean, if you look at all these cards, it's all about these bursts of light. Because this the dolphins here, it's about this key here is the light codes, and then this card here is about the sound codes. But there's also like the color codes. So there's all kinds of different ways for that DNA to be activated. And that, I believe, is what's going to continue to happen as more time goes on. Is there anything else here, Spirit? Okay, so this card here, this is number 35. Okay, so we're going to read this one. This kind of gives me the Merkaba thing. Oh, here we go. I don't think I've ever read this card before. 35. Protective prayerfulness. Okay, prayer is a powerful practice. There is no need to worry about saying the right words, coming up with a special formula, or having a certain set of beliefs to comply with others. To pray, simply speak from the heart and ask the divine, whatever you conceive this to be, for assistance. This oracle encourages you to pray. You may not know what you are supposed to pray for, but the act of prayer will serve you now and is more important than what you are praying for. A prayer that all beings receive the help they need when they need is always a good prayer. Oh my goodness. Because there was this card here started off, oh my goodness, they do this every time and it blows me away, because I'm pretty sure that this card here talks about praying for everyone around you. You're in the process of healing and purification, which creates space for the heart to expand. Allow the love of your higher self to come through to illuminate the world. There was something here that I read about praying for others or something. What was that? Is it this? Heart must be open for the wisdom they share. Recognize your purpose and utilize talents correctly. Be true to yourself and desires, and you will be in a better position to manifest long-term success. Oh, yeah, look, the very bottom. From Lightworkers, look, and I drew it through verbal and practical support of grieving for wounded people around you. Oh my God, Spirit. That was the download I received last night. And now this is what the card is talking about praying. Because the prayers will help the people around you, for the people that are suffering. Okay, the act of prayer compels you to make contact with your inner being. The spiritual field generated by your prayer will protect you from distortions and distractions, keeping you connected to the true path and personhood. It also helps every other being through that increased spiritual presence. You have more spiritual influence than you realize. Don't be afraid to put it to its best use. Wow, Spirit. Okay, that was amazing. Is there anything else? Okay, that's all I have for you. So I hope that this has been educational, because it sure has been for me. I mean, it's been like a couple days of like sorting through all this to find out what the message was, but I guess here it is. Okay, so with that, I'm going to close the reading, and I bid you all a good day. I want to send you all my love and light. And look, and he's even praying. Be courageous, and know that we are being guided by the Ascended Masters, by the Lemurians, by the Palladians, by the Arcturians. They're all here for us. They're all ready, willing, and able to provide whatever we need when we need it. And it's all you need to do is have that open heart. So with that, I'm going to close the reading. Have a good day, everyone. Bye.